Welcome to the art gallery. This is the first of a series of sack lunches that we're doing in conjunction with the professional development. And I'd like to introduce Jo Monroe. We worked on a collaboration together with us, and she's on the advisory committee of the gallery. So it's an opportunity for people on campus to gather, students and faculty and staff, and learn about important issues. The talks are in conjunction with the upcoming show about global issues and sugar and spice. So this is Bruno Lecture. Anyway, so he is head of the World Language Department and a Spanish teacher at TCC and involved in the Global Studies Initiative. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit more about that, then that would be nice.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for coming. As was mentioned, my name is Bruno Lecture, and I am the department head for World Languages here at Tacoma Community College. I'm a professor of Spanish here, and I've been here for about 10 years. So I have been privileged to be working with several faculty here on the creation of the Global Studies program, which will be a program that will help our students come to a multifaceted education that will help them be more productive and more competitive and have a better understanding of their place in the world. So first of all, can we go through the next, why global studies? Okay, I can only tell you about my experience and why I think it's very, very important. Before I came to Tacoma Community College, and while I was in grad school, I did a 14-month deployment to Afghanistan. And there I had the chance to meet many interesting people and grow as a person. Here, if you notice the guys behind me, they don't have any rank, any patches or anything. I just came to find out later on that these guys were Special Forces guys. And they have the opportunity to embed with people in the country to which they go and really create connections with the local people. And it's very, very amazing things that they can do. Can we go on? So I had a chance to travel a little bit when I was in the Army. And one of the things that I did while I was in the Army, when I was deployed especially, is that I always sent a postcard home of every place that I went. And this is a scan from one of the postcards I got and I sent to my family here in the States. One of the sad things and one of the things that I think is very important to know about these global studies is that it gives people the awareness of other people and that you are part of a greater whole. Sadly, this picture, that statue of Buddha, was destroyed in the early 2000s by the Taliban, so it's no longer there. Next slide. I got a chance to spend a few days in Qatar. It was, again, complete different society. But it's also a pretty neat experience to be there. One of the things that I got to do also is, next slide, is to travel through Uzbekistan. And again, these are postcards that I sent home, and you can see where it was taped to the refrigerator or something like that when I was gone. Next slide. On the way back, I was able to stop for a few days in Germany. And next slide. And also I got a chance to go to Kyrgyzstan. I didn't see a whole lot, but I can say I was there. I got the T-shirt and sent a postcard. On the way back, next slide. We also, I'm sorry. So also going to Afghanistan, I got a chance to stop in Turkey, where, creating connection and creating friendships. I have a friend who teaches Koç University in Turkey, right outside north east from Istanbul. And next slide. And then on the way back, I had a chance to stop in Newfoundland in Canada. If you are not familiar with Gander, don't be surprised. It's a teeny little town, city, village. And it was actually quite famous for a little while because that's where many planes were diverted during September 11. So that they were coming to New York City or to DC area, they were diverted to Gander, Newfoundland. And the people, again, creating those connections, I mean, they opened their homes to thousands or hundreds of people who got stranded in Newfoundland. They couldn't go back to the States during the September 11 attacks. But anyway, I got a chance to be there. Next slide, please. So making global connections is something that is really, really important to me. Because if we don't have those connections, if we don't have that multifaceted education, we miss a lot. The losses that we can incur are great. When I was in Afghanistan, I was able to make friends with Nat. And Nat is short for a very long name that I don't remember. He's from Thailand. And we became good friends. We worked out pretty much every day. He was a medical officer. Don't ask me what a medical officer does. He wasn't a doctor. But he was there with the Thai army. Next slide, please. And through him, I met a lot of people from Thailand, Korea. I met a lot of people from Canada, from Australia, New Zealand, that were in the coalition forces. Italy, Great Britain, they all were there. And I learned a lot from them. And in a more practical way, it kept me safe while I was doing my job in Afghanistan. Okay, so next slide. What about the future? What about future generations? And to me, this is more important to me. With the creation of a global studies program here at TCC, we're giving the chance to many students who have never had a chance to go out of their world. This microcosm that is, Western Washington or Tacoma or Pierce County. And to me, it's really, really amazing that I have met people who have never left the state of Washington. And this program will give them the opportunity to be connected to a greater world. To me, that's just amazing. And it's something that is so important to me that I'm trying to give it to my children through our own experiences. We try to make every opportunity that we can a learning opportunity. Even here within the Tacoma area, we have a great chance, a great opportunity to make global connections. We have a huge immigrant population here in Tacoma that we can use and that we can connect, that we can make a difference. And that is also part of that, I think it is part of our vision of a global studies certificate in which we can also make those local connections that can go abroad. Do you guys have any questions?
I do have a question.
Yes.
With all these places that you visited,
Yes.
how many trips were there altogether?
Oh my goodness. I really don't know. I guess I can tabulate them. I'm not as well traveled as other people, but 1, 2, 3, probably around a dozen trips that I've made to Mexico, Canada, Europe, in the Middle East. But it adds up, and those are lessons that you can bring to your life that can expand your world.
And all the trips are taken when you were in the military?
No. For example, this picture is from last December, last month. My family and I took a little trip to Mexico, and we made it into an educational trip. This structure that you see in the back is called La Lóndiga de Granaditas. It was a granary in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And in 1810, it was attacked by a priest, a Catholic priest named Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. And that's one of the catalysts of the Mexican independence. And there are markers, you can barely see it right there. There's a little marker there that go all the way from Dolores Hidalgo, which is a small city where the Mexican independence started. And it goes all the way through northern Mexico. And then you can just kind of go and see little museums. We went to several museums and we showed the children. Right now, La Lóndiga is a museum. And my children learn about diplomacy, war, independence, international relationships, economy, race, identity, caste. There's a lot of things that my children got a chance to experience and to learn, if not directly, at least indirectly through museums, expositions, and architecture and that sort of stuff. But yeah, what else?
So you said you want your kids to learn, and this is for the future. What's the most important thing you think a TCC student who gets involved in learning global studies, learning about the world, what's the most important thing that will come from that?
Okay, so what is the most important thing that we want our TCC students to have coming out of these global studies? We want them to have two things: a greater awareness of themselves within the world, and second, have the knowledge and skills through different classes that are going to better prepare them to be competent and productive members of society, not only here but abroad. So, yes?
Do you have programs maybe that you can create that are not, quote, educational classroom, where you could develop a club or something on campus? Maybe you already have, I'm new to TCC.
Yes.
Where you can open some of the dialogues, because I'm a teacher, and when I see the elementary kids will sit, and by the time they get to junior high and high school and college, we've segregated ourselves out again.
And I see that in my own classroom. So the question is, do we have anything else within TCC that is not educational, that is not classroom-based? And yes, we have several. We have the African American Club, they have the Latino Club. We have several clubs in which students are welcome to be part of and provide a meaningful service. And hopefully the faculty who are advising those clubs are taking that into consideration.
It seems though that this is different, because what if in that sense I might self-select to be in some sort of a club, and I might not have the opportunity to develop the awareness that I might in a class where this is part of the curriculum. It's being brought to me to engage with, rather than me having to go and pursue it.
Yes. And the beauty of the Global Star Certificate will be that, A, you don't have to take additional classes. It's the emphasis of the classes that you take that will give you that certificate. B, you're going to have the designation within your transcript that you have a Global Star Certificate. And perhaps make it something that is a direct transfer to other institutions where they can continue their education. So, yes?
What are like the top careers that you could pursue if you were
Wonderful question. See, this is a student. This is a pragmatic student. What careers can you channel Global Star certificate? So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. You can go into foreign service and become a career diplomat. You can go into law enforcement. I've been courted by the FBI and the Secret Service before I came to TCC. And fortunately, I chose education rather than law enforcement. Law enforcement, by the way, is also a very good program to go into. My wife, who teaches here at Tacoma Community College in the nursing program, yesterday, and I got to hear this last night. She went to do clinicals with our TCC students at Mary Bridge, and thankfully she is bilingual. While she was at Mary Bridge, she had the opportunity to speak to a mother who 2-month-old baby was intubated, oxygen, IV. Poor child has cables and other things coming out of her. Well, apparently no one told her what was happening to her child. No one was able to communicate, well, we're giving your child oxygen because X, Y, and Z, and your child has an IV because 1, 2, and 3. And my wife was able to convey that because she has A, the language skills, B, she has the cultural knowledge to convey that message without being overcomplicated or over technical. So there are tons and tons of applications for a global certificate degree or a Global Star certificate that will help you be a better citizen and a better employee and a better person. So next slide. Nope, that's good. So I think that we have a wonderful opportunity here at TCC to become not only a regionally recognized institution, but also as an internationally recognized institution. And I'm very grateful to be part of this program, and I hope they will come and help us become that. Thank you.